Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the Political Brown Kid here. I'm back with another video, and today I want to talk about something that I heard on. It's a video from, or a video excerpt, because I actually saw it on Kendra G's channel, talking about Kendra G, but I also saw it just today on Media Man's channel. So I don't know too much about Media Man, but I know a lot about Kendra G. Well, should I say enough about Kendra G that I really like her. I like her platform. I like her approach to, male-female dynamics. But I did disagree with one thing that she said. She basically had a clip, and the clip I saw it again today, but I've seen it previously before on her channel, and meant to comment on it, but I'm doing it now. She basically had a clip where she was basically kind of giving an analysis to women about, their approach or expectations from men. And she was just basically kind of running through numbers about how long she's been doing this, how many women come on her platform as opposed to men. And so she was basically giving some feedback because she said that she's been getting some backlash from women. One of the things that she mentioned in there, she said that the power of women don't understand where their power comes from. And she said their power comes from their reproductive organ. And I would respectfully disagree with Kendra G on that. Women's power does not come from that. And it does not come from that, no more than a man's power comes from his reproductive organ. Now, a lot of times those things are used in relationships to bond and or attach one another, because, if you have intimate encounters with an individual so many times, you do form a soul bond in a way, but that's not where your power lies, because a woman desires a man's reproductive organ just as much as a man desires a woman's reproductive organ. And I've heard other women too make this same claim. Women walk around planet Earth thinking because they have, a female reproductive part, that they can control men. And that is not true. Your power, the real power from a woman, and this is kind of directly in a way tied to a woman's reproductive organ, but the way that Kendra G and them talk about it, they talk about it from a sexual aspect. And it's not really from a sexual aspect. The way that a woman's true power comes from her ability to control the union between man, woman, and child, the way she controls the family, and the way she controls his offspring. That's where the power of a woman lies. It is. It truly, really is. And and also the power of a woman lies in just her being overall. If she's a beautiful woman, if that man finds her attractive, beautiful is subjective. So I'm not pointing out any specific person, but if a man looks at a woman and he thinks that she's pretty, and not just pretty from a physical perspective, but he also likes her personality, and he feels as though he has, he has a connection there with her. He feels something like he can easily converse with her. He gets along well with her. She's a supportive person, and he can see that she's that type of nurturing and supportive human being. A man will go out of his way to say, I need to get with that woman. What can I do to get that woman? Now, whether that's going out buying a Porsche and, kind of peacocking for her, buying all kind of materialistic stuff and flaunting, with his chest out and trying to look like, Mr. All That, like he's a great provider and he has great stuff for her. Because, men try to lure women in with what they have. We do. Whether it's doing that, or whether it's just, I'm going to be the man that I'm going to be the best version of myself. Whether that's I'm going to make it to the NBA, or I'm going to make it as CEO of a corporation, or whether I'm going to strive to do XYZ in my life and put myself on a particular path so that this woman sees that she can attach herself to me and we can go far. That's where a power of a woman lies. It is in her overall being. And that's where the power of a man lies as well, because women see that in men. But a man wants somebody that's going to be able to, that's going to kind of motivate him and kind of support him and kind of stroke his ego. That's what we want. That's where the power of a woman lies. initially, but ultimately, when they form a union, the power of a woman lies in the offspring, in her ability to control the domestication of the household or the union of the house. Because that's what women do. If you ever see that movie, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle Was the Hand That Rules the World, that is a very good analogy that you can point to. If you looked at that movie, basically, if anyone hasn't seen it, this woman hired a nanny who was crazy as heck. She hired a nanny to take care of her children while she went off and did other tasks during the day. But the nanny started, breastfeeding the younger child from her breast. And then since she was with the kids all day and for most parts of the day, the other older daughter formed a bond with her. And those kids latched onto the nanny more so than they did to the mother. And then the nanny was able to feed those kids information and or disinformation to get those kids to side with her or the older kid, because the younger kid is still young. She basically controlled the younger kid through feeding her mother's milk. And then they just and that's how she controlled the household. And that's so true with women. Men will stay with you and stick around. Men, a part of the big reason why we want to be there and keep our unions together is because when you look at the situation from this perspective, if a man and a woman are together and they have one child, 3 children, 20 children, you can have, whatever amount of children there are in that household. If that woman decides to say, I'm leaving, I can guarantee you, if you gave the kids a chance or opportunity to say, which parent do you want to live with? All things being equal. Now I'm saying all things being equal, that woman would have to be a totally neglectful mother for them kids to say, I'm going with daddy. Because most kids form that bond because they were in the womb with mom. So you look at it from this perspective is that the woman controls the children and she controls his offspring. If she leaves, the kids go with her. They're going to want to go with her for the most part. Men are pretty much lone wolf creatures. Men don't have a big wolf pack when they start getting married. You don't see grown men, at least not in my experience. You don't see, maybe I just have some degenerate friends, but most of the time you will converse with each other via text or maybe a phone call every once in a while. But for the most part, men start isolating. Women they're all about brunches. Men aren't big on brunches. Married men don't care anything about a brunch. But women are social creatures. They're going to socialize. They're going to keep their friends. They're going to go out for happy hour. They're going to hook up with their friends. They are going to socialize. They're going to be with their sisters and their families and their siblings because it's the matriarch that controls the house. Go look at your families. Look at the movie Soul Food. It was Big Mama. Everybody came back to Big Mama's house every Sunday. If Granddad would have been alive, there was nobody coming to see him. They had a whole uncle that was locked away in the attic in that movie. Wasn't nobody coming there to say, oh, I just want to go see Uncle Ray Bud. Because Uncle Ray Bud is upstairs in the attic and he's senile and he's crazy and he's alone. Don't nobody talk to him. Nobody went to see him. Everybody went to see Big Mama. And that was the same way it was in my family. When the matriarch goes away, the family disperses. The kids go with mom. And when you're a man and you look at it from this perspective, your kids go with her, with your ex. Now it's going to be your ex in this scenario. And now the kids are hanging around her side of the family. They're attached to the matriarch's family. They're not attached to your family. And they're probably doing that anyway, regardless. They're not really attached to your family. So the woman controls, the power of a woman lies in the family. That's where it lies. It lies in the family and it lies in her overall being. So just wanted to drop that gem on you guys. Let me know what you think. This is the Political Brown Kid. Have a good day. Be safe. Enjoy. Get out there and love one another. Let's start getting together, hooking up, because black love is dying. And I want to see black people stay together. And I want to see black people love one another as we should. This is the Political Brown Kid. I'm out of here.